Hey guys, this is what I've been working on the past few months. This is update 2. As you can see, I've been working on my junction here. I have my tower, my station, my signal, and my freight house here. What you see here is my Jeep here. That's going to be my helper engine when we get ready to go up the helix to the second level here. As we come around, you'll see that I installed my tank car facility. As you notice also, we've been adding my signaling system here. Right now the signals are fixed. I don't have them synchronized yet. In this area I'm going to have my refinery to assist my tank car facility. What you're probably going to see here is the tank car refinery kit, and then I'm going to install a pipe rack here to the structure here. Right in this location here, I'm deciding if I want a siding in this area here or not. That's still in the work stages or the work process. I'm probably going to have a three-way here in this location here too. This kind of represents Texas City area. Texas City area, we're going to have our port. This is going to be Galveston port. As you can see, I got my signaling here for my double track crossover. Again, I'm working on that. As we make our way west, you see that I'm working on my passenger car repair and storage facility. I'm here positioning buildings to see what they look like and have them fixed in certain locations. Okay guys, this is my wiring for my staging area. This wiring here is for my west turnout. This wiring here is for my east turnout. This is my power track, east and west power, and this is for my lighting, for my signals. Eventually what I'm going to have is my control panel located in this spot right here. Okay guys, this is my maintenance away train. Welcome guys to our first painting session. I want to get you guys to start painting your layout, weathering, and detailing your engines and cars. We're going to get started with a good air compressor, airbrush, a air ventilator, gloves, scalpel, tweezers, and visors, and an on and off switch for your air ventilator. Okay guys, let's get started with our first paint session. I've been painting for several years and I'm going to show you my technique on how I do my painting. You may find a better way, but this is my way. First, let's show you the motions you may need while painting your boxcar. I would recommend that you would start spraying outside of your boxcar. Reason being is when you first start spraying, you're going to get a glob of paint and you want that glob away from your boxcar. That way when you come across, you'll have a smooth flow of paint. Again, release, start spraying, smooth flow of paint. Release, start spraying, smooth flow of paint. Okay, once we add all our detail, like our running boards, our hand wheel, and our stirrups, once we got our model the way we want it, first thing first is you got to make sure you wash your model with dishwashing liquid and water. Just clean it real lightly and let it dry before we get started. And now I'm going to show you how we mix our paints and get started with our paints. Okay, we're going to use True Color, and the description says in order to get the appropriate color for our Wagontop, we want to use Tuscan Red and a touch of Reefer Orange. Okay, now what I have is my bottle here ready for mixture. I have my thinner in here, and to keep it simple, let's say we got it half full, since we just only going to be spray painting a Boxcar. So what I want to do, if it's half, you want the paint to flow. You don't want it to be too thick where it won't flow, and you don't want it to be too thin where it'll be too light. So let's say this is half, and I'm going to put about 1/4 to 3/8 in there. So we're going to use our Tuscan Red first, but make sure you shake it real well. Now I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of can play it by ear. That ought to be good right there. And now the instruction says you want to put just a dab of Reefer Orange in there for the appropriate color. We're going to put a dab of Reefer Orange in there. Just a dab will do it, they say. So we got a dab. So now what we're going to do is mix our color. Keeping your finger over this hole. If you don't do that, it'll come out. So shake your color. Okay, we're going to use the motion that we practiced after we adjusted our tip. Go. We'll let that dry, and then we'll put our clear coat on and add our decals. Next, we're going to gloss coat our Boxcar. This is a secret that no one tells you about hiding your decals. So let's get started. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our gloss coat. Right now, I'm going to use some of my old FLOQUIL paint right now, and I'm going to go ahead and use my cup instead of my glass jar, because we don't have a big project. This is a real small project. So we install our cup, and then we take a little bit of our gloss coat. You don't have to mix your gloss coat. It's just a solid, light liquid. Just add the amount you think you're going to need for spraying your Boxcar. A little bit more. And then of course, as usual, you want to thin it out just a little bit. Now with this gloss coat, it's thin. So you don't need that much thinner. Just a little bit so it can flow through your brush as usual. Okay, that's good right there. Alright, let's get everything started. Let's get our pump started. And then let's get our box started. Let's go ahead and adjust our spray to where we want it coming out of our brush. That's a little bit too much, so we'll dial it down a little bit. Dial it down a little bit more. little bit more. There we go. That's a good spray. You don't need all that spray. Just good. That dial down a little bit more. That's a good spray. Now we'll take our item. Let's move our air hose here. Get it out of the way. Let's get started. Okay, now that we got our Boxcar ready and prepped to go, we got a good coat of gloss coat on here. We're going to go ahead and follow the instructions about applying our decals on our Boxcar. As you can see, I got my chart here set up with big information versus the small. So what I'm going to have to do is go ahead and cut out the key decals that I need to apply to my Boxcar. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm going ahead per decals is apply my decal to water solution, let it soak for a little bit until the decal comes loose from our poster board here. You don't want to try and move this along too fast or you will tear your decal, so you want to be patient until the decal lets itself go from your poster board. And once it's set, just take your piece of tissue paper, Q-tip or something, and blot the excess water. Again, we just go through the same process until we get it completed. At this stage, once it dries, you still can adjust it by adding a little water and letting it soak in, and you should be able to move it. But once it dries, you want to make sure you don't have any air pockets. You want to make sure it's flat. You can probably see the edges on the decals, but that will go away when we add our decal setting solution. And I'll show you how that's done. Okay, now that we have all our decals set on our Boxcar, we want to go ahead and apply decal solvent solution. This particular solvent is from Walthers. Now what this does is, once you got your decals all in place and in position that you want, you make sure that everything is right. You don't have to make any changes. You let it dry and make sure you don't have any imperfections. What this solution will do is, once you apply it, it will just draw it to the body of the Boxcar, like any lines or any bolts. It will just suck it to it like it's just painted around the bolt, or it's just sucked into the crevice or a hole, and it'll look like it's just been painted on. So that will be your step you would do. And once you do this, you cannot make any changes. So that's why it's critical that you make sure that you're happy with what you've applied decals on here, and then you add your setting solution, and then you're ready for your last coat of paint. So let's go ahead and apply our setting solution. Basically all you do, come across here, after everything is dried, a light solution. Light solution over your decals, that's on here. You notice one moved, you still have time to move it back before it dries. So I can move it back, which is good. We'll do our ends. Okay, now we're done. We sit back and we just let this dry. and we will see that the decal has drawn itself to the body of the boxcar. And then we'll make our decision on our last coat of paint. Do we want it to make it look new, or do we want it to look like it's old or been out for a while? Okay, we're going to apply our final coat on our boxcar. What we're doing is adding the final finish. Then you have several choices to apply. It depends on how you want your boxcar to look. Do you want it to look new? Do you want it to look semi-new? Or do you want it to look, I guess you would say, old or just faded? We're going to go ahead and use what is called a dull coat. That's going to make it look like it's just faded, old. Most guys won't want a boxcar that looks that way because you really don't see that many new boxcars out in the yard. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's get started. Go ahead and start my air pump. Alright guys, here's our completed boxcar. Upcoming next will be our starting project of our Texas Chief, and then we're going to start some scenery work on the layout. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy it. Until then, see you next time.